Have you ever wondered what the real difference is between someone who loves a challenge and someone who kind of runs from it? Well, according to Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, it all boils down to one simple belief you hold about yourself. So let's get into it, because this idea, well, it just might change how you see everything.
Dweck's whole journey with this started kind of by accident. She was giving kids these puzzles, each one harder than the last, just to see how they'd handle failure. And a lot of them, yeah, they got discouraged. But then, some kids did something she just did not see coming. One 10-year-old kid gets his really tough puzzle, and he literally rubs his hands together, smacks his lips, and goes, "I love a challenge." I mean, that was the big aha moment. For these kids, it wasn't about failing at all. They just thought, cool, I'm learning something new.
And that right there became the central question of her entire career. Why? Why do some of us see a tough problem and think, yes, a chance to get smarter? While someone else looks at the exact same problem and thinks, oh no, this is a test and I'm going to be exposed as a fraud. What is that secret ingredient that flips the switch and turns failure from a verdict into fuel?
Well, the answer she found is that it all comes down to two totally different ways of seeing our own abilities. And we're not talking about small personality quirks here. No. These are two completely different mindsets that basically create two different psychological worlds for people to live in.
So here's the breakdown. On one side, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the belief that your intelligence, your talents, they're just fixed, carved in stone. And if you believe that, your main goal in life becomes proving you're smart over and over again. Effort? That's a bad sign. It means you're not a natural. On the other side, you've got the growth mindset. This is the idea that your abilities are just the starting line. The goal isn't to prove you're smart, it's to get smarter. And effort? That's the secret sauce. That's what makes you good. Let's dig into that fixed mindset for a second. If you truly believe your treats are fixed, then every single thing you do becomes a test. Will I succeed or fail? Will I look smart or will I look dumb? It creates this constant pressure to prove yourself. And because any little failure could expose you as not having it, you start to avoid challenges altogether. Why risk looking bad, right? But then you have the growth mindset. It's built on a totally different foundation. The idea that you can grow your abilities through hard work and dedication. This way of thinking fosters a real love of learning, and it builds resilience, which is, let's be honest, absolutely crucial for achieving anything great. The coolest part about this mindset? A person's true potential is a total mystery. It's completely unknown, because who knows what you can achieve with years of passion and practice?
Okay, so to really see how this works in the real world, let's do a little thought experiment from Dweck's own research. I want you to picture this. You're having a terrible day. First, you get a C+ on a big midterm. Ugh. Then you walk to your car and bam, parking ticket. And to top it all off, you call your best friend to complain, and they just kind of blow you off. What's that voice in your head saying right now?
Well, if you're in a fixed mindset, these things aren't just a string of bad luck, they're a judgment, a verdict on you. That little voice in your head starts screaming, I'm a total failure, I'm such an idiot, my life is just pathetic. See? The events become a measure of your worth, and it just leads to this feeling of being totally paralyzed. The natural reaction is to just give up, stay in bed, get drunk, yell at your roommate, anything to avoid actually dealing with it. But now, let's flip the script. The person with the growth mindset. They're not happy about it, for sure, but they don't label themselves. They see these as problems that need solutions. Their thinking is all about action. Okay, I need to study harder for the next test. Fine, I'll deal with the ticket. I wonder what's up with my friend. I should talk to them later. It's a total 180. Instead of paralysis, there's a plan. They face the challenge head on. All right, so let's move beyond hypotheticals and into the real world. Because in the high-stakes game of sports and business, these mindsets aren't just about feeling bad after a rough day. Oh no, they can literally be the difference between becoming a champion and flaming out, between a company soaring to greatness or crashing and burning. Let's talk about Billy Beane. You might know him from the book or movie Moneyball. This guy was supposed to be the next big thing in baseball, a natural talent. Everyone said so. But here's the catch. He had a textbook fixed mindset. He believed that if you were a natural, you shouldn't ever fail. So when he got to the pros and started struggling, which everyone does, he just couldn't handle it. Every strikeout, every error was proof to him that he didn't really have it. He completely fell apart and never came close to his supposed potential. Now, let's put Billy Beane on one side and on the other, Michael Jordan. The greatest of all time, right? Well, funny thing is, Jordan wasn't seen as a natural early on. He famously got cut from his high school basketball team.
but he had the ultimate growth mindset. He was legendary for his insane work ethic because he believed talent was something you built. For MJ, failure wasn't a verdict. It was just practice.
And this quote from him, wow, it just says everything. He didn't just put up with failure, he embraced it. He saw it as the secret ingredient to his success. Every single missed shot was just information. It was a reason to get back in the gym and work even harder. I mean, that is the growth mindset, pure and simple.
And this exact same pattern plays out in the business world. Take Enron. They had this whole talent mindset thing going on. They only hired stars, paid them a ton, and basically worshipped their innate genius. What did that create? A fixed mindset culture where admitting a mistake was career suicide. So people hid problems, they lied, and we all know how that ended. A spectacular collapse. Now compare that to the good to great companies Jim Collins wrote about. Their leaders weren't flashy. They were humble people who faced the hard truths, who learned from their mistakes, and who were obsessed with getting better every single day.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, right, growth mindset is good, fixed is bad. I get it. But how do we actually build it in our kids, in our employees, even in ourselves? Well, this leads us to one of the most mind-blowing parts of Dweck's research, the hidden and very real danger of praise. I mean, it seems like the most natural thing in the world, doesn't it? We want to build our kids' confidence, so we say, you're so smart, or wow, you're a natural at this. Our hearts are in the right place. But what the research shows is that this kind of praise, it can totally backfire. And here's why. When we praise someone's innate ability, you're so smart, the message they hear is, success is a trait. You either have it or you don't. We're accidentally pushing them into a fixed mindset. But what if we praise the process? Things like, you worked so hard on that, or that was a really clever strategy you used. Now the message is completely different. It's success comes from what you do. It's something you build. The results from her studies on this are just wild. The kids who were praised for being smart, they immediately started picking easier puzzles. Why? They didn't want to risk doing anything that might make them look not so smart and lose that label. The second things got tough, their confidence just fell off a cliff. And get this is the craziest part. Almost 40% of them lied about their scores to other people. Think about that. The praise that was meant to build them up actually made them afraid of challenges and turned them into liars. Okay, so the big, hopeful takeaway from all of this is that your mindset isn't set in stone. It's not a permanent part of your personality. It's a belief. And the great thing about beliefs, they can be changed. You can absolutely 100% choose to cultivate a growth mindset. And you know what? The science completely backs this up. Neuroscientists have shown that our brains are incredibly flexible. When you learn, when you struggle with something new, your brain physically changes. It builds new connections. It gets stronger. So that idea that effort makes you smarter, it's not just a nice thought. It's literally true. Your brain is like a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So where do you start? Dweck lays out a simple 4-step plan. Step 1, just start noticing your fixed mindset voice. You know the one. It's the voice that whispers, what if you fail? Or don't try, you'll look stupid. Step 2 is recognizing you have a choice. You don't have to believe that voice. You can see a challenge as a threat or as an opportunity to grow. Step 3, talk back to it. When that voice says you can't do it, you answer back with a growth mindset voice. I can't do it yet. And finally, step 4, take the growth mindset action. Go for the challenge, learn from your mistakes, just keep moving forward. When you boil it all down, the growth mindset is really about one thing, possibility. It's this incredible idea that your true potential isn't some fixed number you're born with. It's unknown. It's unknowable. Because with enough passion and effort and practice, who knows how far you can go? So really, the only question that matters is the one you have to ask yourself. What are you going to do with your potential?